Get ready to take a look behind the scenes and enter the impossible for the Between Two Minds podcast with our hosts, Judge Mentalist and Bernardo Rodriguez. Can they really tell you what you're thinking?
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are, where you're watching this, because we are crossing the globe. This is Judge Mentalist coming at you with another wonderful preview episode of a talk at the upcoming 2025 Performing Hypnosis Summit. Now, my kids who are 13 and 17 are telling me that I need to tell everybody out there to make sure that you smash the like button and subscribe or whatever that is. So we're building this channel. We're growing this channel. We've done 3 or 4 of these where we're talking about and previewing the upcoming talks at the 2025 PHS. There will be many more following this. And of course, on this channel, I also post clips from my shows and testimonials from audience members and all sorts of fun stuff like that. So make sure you subscribe. And also feel free, we are live streaming this. So whether you are on one of the Facebook channels or whether you're on YouTube, if you've got questions for myself or for our guest today, Jeff, feel free to type them in the comments because they pop up and we can get them in here. So without further ado, greetings, Jeff Benink. How are you?
Hey, greetings. I'm doing good. How are you yourself?
I am wonderful. It is here in the States, it's kind of sort of a partial holiday. It used to be Columbus Day. Now they call it Indigenous Peoples Day. I'm still at work, but the banks and the courts and things like that are closed. So it's kind of like, it's not one of those everything shuts down like the big major holidays, but just enough to keep it inconvenient for those of us who use the courts and the mail and the banks as part of what we do. So how about you? Where are you today?
I'm in the Netherlands today. I'm near the city of Zwolle. And I just had a working day, seeing clients all day.
Excellent. So clinical clients.
Yeah.
So you are doing... So there aren't... I mean, I guess there's a fair amount of folks out there that are actively doing both on a very regular basis. You know, what I've experienced so far is that there are a lot of people that started on one side, moved to the other, and may do a little in where they were before, but to really, I mean, you're doing both full on.
Yeah, I got a full-time clinic in the Netherlands and I work online with clients all over the globe by virtual sessions.
And you do a ton of shows. How many shows do you do in a year, approximately?
Between 60 and 70.
Excellent. And you do big production shows.
Yeah, I do a normal chair show, but I do big production shows.
Which is, and you've been doing that for how long?
I started about 10 years ago. But big shows is the last 4 or 5 years. I started just before COVID.
Okay. With the
My
bigger
background
show.
is in engineering, so sound engineering for major bands. I toured the world and seeing a lot of stage hypnosis shows. You can do so much more than just a row of chairs and doing your skits. You can tell a story and make it more an experience. So my big show that I'm traveling now is Trance the Night Away. That's not really a comedy show. It's more a theatrical show.
Which is perfect background and segue into your conversation and your topic at the upcoming Performing Hypnosis Summit, is it not?
Yeah, I got a pre-conference about show engineering and automation. I use a piece of software that can trigger your video, your sound, your lights. So it's easy to do the same show in a simple way, select which kind of show it is and make the music, the sound, and the video or no lighting per show. So you have just one piece of software that can run all your shows, even if it's magic or whatever.
So that's the one thing that I have noticed so far in most of the interviews that we've done here to get people prepped for the Performing Hypnosis Summit is, and I'll probably repeat this over and over again in a lot of these podcast episodes, is that there's so much value in crossover, because we're not, with a few exceptions, at this summit, because it's just geared toward entertainment and performance. It's so much more focused on the business of what we do, which applies very much into other medium, whether it be magicians or mentalists or other sort of circus acts, or really any sort of entertainment. That
It's a performing summit, but it's because we're all
hypnosis is a smaller word here. Yeah.
Hypnotist, but there are people that giving talks how to make a better presentation, how to connect to an audience, how to get more leads.
Yeah. And all of these things are valuable things across the spectrum. So if you're an entertainer of any type, realize that while the bulk of the people that are going to be there at PHS are hypnotists, that first and that last word are probably more important than the middle one for a lot of the topics.
We would like to have a crossover between different kinds of performances. We learn from each other.
Absolutely, yeah.
I know how to program a show. I know how to do the technical side because it was my day job for over 20 years. But I don't know how to work the online marketing, the streaming, and everything. And I think when we build together our future, we can make a big fist and get more work altogether.
Absolutely, yeah. And I can, obviously you came from the background that with the sound engineering. I came from a background in mentalism, and some of my previous talks of the PHS and at Michigan were about how I've retooled mentalism routines to make them look like they're kind of in that theme and that feeling of hypnosis, and how people can use those in their shows. And obviously there is a big difference. Like it hasn't been, decades since I've been doing this. And when I went on stage and did my very first show, I had sound cues, which I had never really done in one of my mentalism shows. It just didn't seem that important for what I was doing there. But I came off that stage and people thought that and I'm not doing what you're going to talk about at PHS, just a very, very just click button, sound for where I want it to be in the background. But people thought I had been doing that show for 10 years because that fills out the production.
Yeah, but if you can make it feel all connected, and you can do it really, really easy. If you have some background music, if you're talking about the wind blowing, use an audio clip of wind.
Yeah.
You can find it on YouTube. You can find it anywhere. You should pay for it. But when you're just starting out and trying to get the feel of it, it is not so hard to get good noises.
Yeah. And you did a very, I don't want to say a similar talk, but you talked about programming shows last year. And
I talked about it last year to get people warm to. I think we all got to step up our game, because if you make a production with a few lights that doesn't have to be expensive and a little bit more sound effects or background music, you step up your game so much that you can raise your price.
Yeah.
And then it's a performance instead of a demonstration. Here in Europe, we are very big on production, because otherwise nobody will even come and have a look. But if we do it all together, I think we can build our business way bigger.
Yeah, there's a ton of different things from different angles that I find incredibly valuable. I'm looking up, and obviously I'm looking intently at the schedule because I'm tracking everybody down and trying to do more of these interviews. But just a wealth of knowledge that is coming.
There's so much knowledge
from people that have been doing this for 10 years, for 20 years, for 30 years. Even folks that are not necessarily been doing hypnosis for a long time, but people who have, from wherever they came from. Like a lot of your background comes from your experience as a sound engineer before you started doing hypnosis, but boy, oh boy, is it valuable. And obviously to be able to, I mean, you're going to travel halfway across the world to share this with folks, which is fantastic. And like I said, I found what you talked about last year to be super helpful. So this year, as far as the conference talk, I know you mentioned the pre-talk, but in the conference, are we taking what you did last year to another level, or what can we expect?
We're taking it to another level. We're going to try. It's only an hour. I wish we had longer blocks, but it's too many people that have something decent to say. We're going to see what the difference is between a production and a non-production. In my workshop before the conference, we build your show in a day. We start early in the morning. If you have an Apple computer or an iPhone, we build your show from the startup all together. In my talk, we're going to see what the same skit makes the difference with production or without. So you can really feel what happens.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there were people when I came off that stage after doing my very, very first hypnosis show. Now, granted, I had experience performing on stage, but people telling me that, like, you really just started this. That show looks like you've been doing it for, or just feels, there's a feeling to it when you've got that stuff behind you. And I'm just coming from a perspective where the most I've ever done is moderate lights and solid sound. You've got everything all in one basket here.
Yeah, but Joe, what is what we're selling? We're selling emotion.
Yeah.
And if we trigger emotion, even if it's amazement or a happy feeling or a sad feeling, if people can feel it, they believe it.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing, we're creating through trance this experience that everybody has on stage. And we know that when our folks are in stage, they're experiencing their own journey. But everybody out in the audience, unless you fill in those gaps with the production, they're just watching a bunch of people in chairs doing sometimes silly stuff if it's a comedy show.
Yeah, but that is the point that I really like to make at the conference. If we step up our game, it's more than that.
Absolutely.
Dan Goyette is saying it. Production makes all the difference. It can create an experience for your audience, and then is known for a big production.
And that is, like you mentioned, the key to getting higher prices, and it almost guarantees you getting rebooked if it's the type of event that somebody rebooks for.
If you buy simple stage lights, 4 lights on every side, you can buy a package at any music store for about $200, and you can raise your prices by $100. So 2 shows, and you earned it.
Yeah.
And people are scared to do it, but hey, take the last 2 lights, make them blue so your background looks blue, and make skin color in front, and you have a production. It doesn't have to be a big thing. I travel with a trailer of equipment and have people setting it up with the big show, but you can start small.
Yeah. Well, my entire show runs off of, I mean, again, I'm only doing sound for the most part, depending on the venue. I certainly will be looking into the lighting and integrating that in, because you're going to teach us how to run all of this from one piece of software, correct? That is tremendous. I mean,
it is the same kind of software that is used for big musicals.
And a lot of us like to talk about, hey, I'm doing this Vegas style show. I'm doing this Vegas style show because that's like the buzzword that we feel like people want to hear.
Yeah, but you look at
a Vegas style show.
You stood there on stage. I was there.
Yeah.
Doing awesome. But it is a production.
Yeah.
The venue looks and feels like you're somewhere special.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're going to share this with us. Let everybody know that it doesn't take as much as you think it does, as long as you know what you're doing, to put this together.
The big thing is, we are all scared. I started out somewhere. I had my knees knocking first time on stage. If we help each other, and we're easy to reach. Jobert is easy to reach. I'm easy to reach. Everybody in the hypnosis community is. Just send them a message and we answer your questions.
Yeah.
It's not about making gain. No, we want to up our profession.
Yeah, I would say I cannot honestly. That's a really good point, because I being newer to this, I have more questions than answers, and I don't believe that there's ever been anybody in the profession that I have reached out to with a question and I've not gotten a timely response to it. So you're exactly right.
Ever since I came to the US, it was years ago, then it was a state hypnosis seminar before the Performing Hypnosis Summit. And they took me in as one of their own. It's what's like a warm bath. And now I come over to the US 6-7 times a year. And if I have a question, I call Michael the Shelled, I call whoever.
Yeah, and they're always there to pick up the phone or shoot you a message back. Yeah, that's that's a really great point for anybody that might be on the fence about coming to PHS. Maybe you've been doing this and you feel like you're out on an island and you've been trying to tread water, and maybe you've got the relationship that you have with your trainer and you can ask them questions if they don't have 100 other things going on at the time. Great, but add to that arsenal. I mean, it's a community. It's almost like a family, of folks that are here just trying to raise the bar on the profession together.
My first time coming over was I sent an email, and I think it was Michael the Shelled that answered it. From, hey, I'm from the Netherlands. I can't get any help. I'm stuck with my show. I don't know what to do. And he said, just come to Vegas and we help you. And I did. And I'm happy to call him a friend nowadays.
Yeah.
There was nobody saying oh, look at me. I'm the best in the world. We're all the same. We're all working hard to get our profession known and get nice shows and keep it clean and a happy environment for everybody.
Awesome. Well, this is going to be great. PHS, I mean, there's hundreds of reasons to go. The talks, the community. You're in Vegas. It's probably winter where you are, that you're coming from, wherever you are. So come out to Vegas where it's not going to be, it's going to be January. So you don't have to worry about, you shouldn't have to worry about it being 110 degrees and you melting as you're walking out in the streets. And as I've talked about before, and you can see clearly from the schedule, there's so much packed into those 3 days of the main conference, and then obviously all the other stuff around it, that don't even make other plans. Unless you're coming early or staying late, don't make other plans for entertainment, because it's already there lined up for you.
It is
super
packed.
Easy. It is packed full, tons of learning, tons of networking. And I mean, you're going to come out of there. I know I did last year, super excited, super invigorated to hit the ground running. Made a lot of contacts there that I've been in touch with over the past year since last year's PHS. I have either elevated some of those folks in what I have offered them. They've elevated me, some of those people both. So definitely a fantastic time.
And it's a community, and the only thing we ask is to check your ego at the door. We're all the same. The one that's doing shows for over 50 years, a big Vegas name, is having lunch next to you when you're starting out and helping you out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go here soon. Anything else that you want to share with folks, or other information on other projects that people might want to look into, or just get the PHS and come hang out?
Just get to PHS, come hang out. If you want to know more about the clinical part, I'm in Chicago this week talking about working with kids and emotional damage on DNA. So you can find me there. And if you have a question whatsoever, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, everything. Just shoot me a message.
Awesome. Well, Jeff, thanks so much. I always appreciate your time. I always appreciate any time that we're in person and get to spend time together. And I am absolutely looking forward to doing this again in January at PHS.
I'm looking forward to it. It's time to get some lunch together.
That's right. All right. I'll see everybody soon. We've got more of these coming. So like my kids tell me to tell you, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, or whatever it is that you got to do. Exactly. Let's get it out there. Till next time, friends.
Thank you for tuning in to the Between Two Minds Behind the Scenes podcast. Be sure to follow us on social media under Between Two Minds with the number 2 instead of TWO, or under Enter the Impossible. Thank you, and we hope to see you back for the next episode.